Lance Mechanics here, and today I'm going to tell you why me as a licensed mechanic, I will not rotate tires anymore. And I think as time goes on, I could break this up into 7 videos and get real thorough when I have more time. But I'll keep it simple. There's so many factors, and the factors come back that it will hurt the technician more than the customer, and modern vehicles are just a poor design. So if you're a general person who's not a mechanic, I'll explain how this goes on. Follow behind an SUV or a car or something that doesn't have a solid axle in the rear end. Trucks have solid axles, so just look at trucks, anything but trucks. So you're going to look at the rear tires, and you're going to notice they cave in at the top, or they curve in. The camber is absolutely redonkulous. And what that's led to is the curvature is to keep the vehicle stable. People don't realize, I experimented with Jeep products because they come so negative from the factory. I put them on because I used to do collisions in the front end, so I put them on the alignment rack, and they were way out of spec, even at like 10K kilometers. Suspension could been clapped out, so contact the aftermarket place. They have adjustable upper control arms. I get them, a little negative camber. That vehicle would not handle whatsoever afterwards. And after doing that and making that mistake a few times on other brands, I realized they have to have ridiculous negative camber because of the short wheelbase. Otherwise, they cannot drive. They were unhandled. They had zero handling on the road. Add in snow, those vehicles were upright dangerous to drive. So one of the trade-offs is having your all-wheel drive SUVs or your compact cars with great fuel economy is they shortened the wheelbase, they made things lighter, they complicated the suspension. That negative camber destroys tires and causes problem for technicians. So Honda CRVs are a perfect example. The tires in the rear would go bald between 5 and 30,000 kilometers because the negative camber was just too much. Too much traction in the rear with the all-wheel drive system. Just a huge slew of complications. And I learned very quickly, do not rotate tires unless you know everything. And this it can burn technicians a lot and ruin your customers' faith in you. So a lot of times, service advisors, they'd upsell tire rotations based on your measurements. Fair enough. I wouldn't rotate them unless I knew for a fact I could drive that thing in city driving and highway. Vehicles handle differently at 2 different speeds. It's the way things work. Up here, the road crown is like this. In southern Ontario, it's like this. Alignment up here will not handle like an alignment down there. And these are programmed into the machines. You punch in your address to wherever you are in the country, and it'll give you the proper alignments for your highways and your roads. So, yikes. So, without having a proper road test or where I can go down the highway, and we were far from a highway, I was not doing that, I would not rotate the tires because I knew better. A tire can look perfect on both front and rear, but the second you rotate them without proper knowledge is you could be creating a pole, vibrations, because rotating tires without balancing them is nuts, especially if you can't get it up to highway speeds. When you're doing road tests in town, it's impossible to know all the facts. It just is. So imagine it comes in for a recall. Oh, you're here. Can you do an oil change? Oh, service advisor upsells a tire rotation on top of that. It's going to happen to every technician. The guy who didn't go on the road test because it was in for a friggin' recall or something minuscule, now he's done an oil change and he's rotated the tires. The customer may come back, especially if it's an SUV or those cars with the rear camber, because now you've introduced an unknown variable. That thing may pull hard to the right or left, or it may shake at highway speeds that they've never noticed, because when you have an unbalanced rear tire, you feel it in the seat. Now you've moved it to the front, you feel it in the steering wheel. Customers don't pay attention to these. So I learned over the years, just don't rotate tires. It's better to let the front burn off, sell them a new set, and then rotate them again, especially for front-wheel drive and compact SUVs. People always say, like, oh, you got to replace all 4. There's some brands that will let you go up to friggin' 2 centimeters. You know what? You just got to look into the brand. It even tells you in the owner's manual. Subaru's a different story because it's asymmetrical all-wheel drive, but listen, most of them are just putting power to 2 wheels, so you can get away with a lot. And people don't quite understand this. Look in your owner's manual. So, as a technician, I got burnt by rotating tires way too often to the point where I tell the customer, burn off the front tires and we'll deal with it in the future. And once I explained that to them, it made more sense because, listen, I'm not going to sell you an alignment for 2 tires for you to come back in 6 months and do 2 more. Burn off the front, and if the rear get low, we'll replace all 4. But listen, it's better to just do it a little bit at a time. But, am I ranting? Yeah, I'm ranting. So yeah, I've just been burnt way too much as a technician rotating tires on these modern vehicles because they just can't handle tires. Honda makes poor designs of suspension. Oh my God, Dodge. Don't get me started on Compasses, Journeys, Durangos. Oh, I made a killing on those because of poor suspension designs. They're all out there. Toyota, they all make the stupid negative camber in the rear. And like I said, I could make tons of videos on this, and I will in the future because it drives me nuts when I see these $60,000, $70,000 compact SUVs, all the bells and whistles, and all I can see is the negative camber in the rear. And it's a design. It's designed on purpose like that. Otherwise, the vehicles would be undrivable. It's a trade-off. Burn through tires and 20 or 30K for some features. Like, what is it? So yeah, post in the comments what you think. Towards the end there, tire rotations were very rare for me. And it's one of those things too, like people will come out and say, oh, well, you have the tires off already. You're doing my brakes. You should just rotate them. I'd be like, no. And when I can explain it to them, it made more sense. So yeah, like I said, again, post in the comments what you experience. I personally think doing tire rotations on cars and compact SUVs is just the way of the dodo. Trucks, heck yeah. Because you know what? You could put those cambered front worn tires and feathered in the rear and they'll still drive pretty decently. Make some noise maybe. And yeah, just my opinion, what I've seen up here north. Your area can be totally different. It's just the way things go. It's based on area. Hot, cold up here, for some reason, tires don't last. It used to be a Canadian thing. So yeah, you made it this far in the video. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'm on a 5/4 schedule, so I'm all over the place with posting. And yeah, 60% of my viewers aren't subscribed. Hit that subscribe button. Helps out. So yeah, Lance Mechanics, have a good one. Some food for thought. Like I said, if you're a regular person or a mechanic, post what you do. It all helps. Take care.